Hey guys, this is Lalana. Thanks for tuning into the Sovereign Path. So today we're going to talk about coming into union with your twin flame. What does that mean when we're saying that we are coming into union, that we want to come into union, that these two people are in physical union, all of those sort of things. So I already made a video on what union means, so you guys can check that video out to have a little bit more clarification from this video. This is just sort of a part two, really, of that video. And so when we're talking about coming into union and being in union with the twin, what this literally means is being in union with self, right? So being in union with the self is ultimately being in union with the twin, because the twin is you, right? So this one is, I think, one of those aspects of this path that is very difficult for the mind and the ego and the emotional body to understand. And this is why I keep hitting on things of saying that this is not a mental path. The mental awareness, the mental understanding, and all of those sort of things are not going to help you on this path. Coming into neutrality, coming into oneness is what this path is all about. Those things mean coming back into union with self. The twin is you pushed out, right? The twin is a projection of what is going on within you. The twin is within you. As I've said in a lot of my videos, your divine masculine is right here. Your divine masculine is not out there. It's not someone that you need to be searching after, looking for, chasing, pining over, or hoping that you're going to have physical union. And somehow that is going to prove that you are a real twin flame and that you're in twin flame romantic partnership, and all of those sort of things that we feel and that we talk about are actually part of this path based on a 3D romantic template that we've been running in, for all of our life. That's not what this path is, and I'm going to just keep on hitting that home over and over again. The physical aspect of this path is a byproduct. It is not the end goal. It is a byproduct of actually coming back into union with self within, right? This is what inner union is. So coming into union means you're back in union with you. You are back in union with the self. You are back in the embodiment of oneness. You are back in the understanding, not understanding, words fail me on this path a lot. You are back in the embodiment of the true self, of your true consciousness as a light being, right? As a multi-dimensional being, experiencing physicality, experience illusion, experiencing the dream, right? It's coming back into the awareness of who you are truly. When you come back into the awareness of who you are truly, that is when you are in actual union. That is when you are no longer looking outside of you for any external validation in the physical reality to tell you or to show you, or to validate to you that this is really happening, right? That this is really real. Our mind has a tendency, and our ego has a tendency to want to prove things to ourselves and to other people, like that this is actually happening, right? I'm actually experiencing a twin flame dynamic because I'm able to prove this stuff physically in some way with my divine masculine. It's actually a paradox, and I keep saying it's actually flipped on the head of that. This isn't about having to prove anything to anyone. It's not having to validate anything to anyone, including yourself, including the physical aspect of the twin. This is why you don't have to explain, that you're twins, or that what that means, and you don't have to understand all of the scientific breakdown of what this does and what that does. Those things are interesting to the mind, right? And that's fine to have those understandings, of the mind. But that's not the point of what this path is. It's not the point of what awakening is. Awakening brings you back into oneness. It brings you back into the awareness that you are pure source consciousness. From that place, all of these like searchings and quests and looking for things and looking for them and validating all of these things drop away, right? The questions drop away because you come back into the awareness that I am all that. I am all that is. I am creating my reality from within. I am also creating my twin flame dynamic from within. So if I am still running a pattern or a program based on a belief that is telling me that I need to validate that I'm a twin flame, or that my twin flame needs to validate to me that they love me, that, you know, what all of these things are going to look like, then I'm going to just be creating more of that, right? This is just how we work as creator beings. Whatever we hold within us, we are literally projecting into our reality, and that is what's showing up on the screen of life, projecting back to us as our experience, as our life. So the more that we keep believing that the twin flame is outside of us and that it's something to gain, that it's something to get to, and that the twin flame dynamic is not within us, the more it's going to be elusive, right? The more that we're going to stay in those patterns and those loops that create suffering, because the mind is trying and the ego is trying to understand something and to make sense of something and to control something ultimately that it can't understand and that it can't control. And so then the emotional body rises up and it has all of these, you know, these feelings of insecurity, these feelings of abandonment, these feelings of not being good enough, of being rejected, because we are looking literally at what we are creating in our external reality based on a belief that says I have to be in romantic partnership with them, or they have to validate me, or whatever else. And so we're doing it from the opposite end, right? We're doing it from the back end. Almost everyone is doing this path from the back end of it, right? We're doing it from the outside in instead of the inside out. So consciousness and awakening brings you back into the true awareness that you are creating all of this from within, including the twin. So if we're creating everything from within, including the twin, then if we want to be in romantic partnership with the twin, then we need to be in romantic partnership with self. If we feel that the twin needs to validate what's going on within us, then we need to make sure that what's going on within us doesn't need any validation, right? It's that place of saying, like, I know who I am. I know where I'm at. I know that I am pure source consciousness. I know that I am creating my reality. I know that my beliefs are creating everything I see. I know that my thoughts are like, you know, I can't just allow my thoughts to run riot all the time, or my ego to be constantly trying to control this and saying X, Y, Z in regard to this path, because that's not what this path is. You know, those are some of the really important first steps to recognize when you're on a twin flame path, is that the control mechanism that steps up to the forefront and tries to act like it knows what it's doing is your ego. It is your false self. And for most of people just going through the awakening process, but certainly if you're in a twin flame dynamic, we have this desire to control it. And the desire to control it comes from the mind needing to understand it. And so we have to like really recognize that we're never going to fully understand pure source consciousness. It's not in the mind's ability within this realm of separation and duality to understand and certainly control pure source consciousness. This path is bringing you back into the awareness that you are all that is, right? You're everything and you're nothing. You are the Alpha and the Omega. And from that place, the questions start to drop, because you come back into union, true union, and the awareness that, again, I am actually creating this. I'm creating my twin flame dynamic. I'm creating other things that are going on in my world. I'm creating my reality based on what I'm holding within me. When you come back into inner union, suddenly you have the master key to your reality. I keep calling that the freedom key, right? And with this comes an awareness that, oh shit, I'm actually creating my reality. And that's a really cool thing, because that means I can create what I want. And then also, oh shit, I've also been creating my suffering, right? I've also been creating things I don't want unconsciously, because I haven't been aware that I am that, right? So this is what the awakening elicits. It pulls you into the awareness of, oh, I'm consciousness. That's what I am. That's what this is. And that's what this path is showing me. That's what my twin is showing me. My twin, who is me, who I have manifested here to reflect back to me that I am all that is, right? This is how this path gets so like kind of tripped around and all of these sort of things. And we keep looking outside of ourselves for everything, not just the twin, but for all of it. We've been taught. And that's what this reality is really about, is separation, duality, separation consciousness, and polarization. Everything we have been taught is external to us. That takes our power away, right? We feel that we're small. We feel that we can't control things. We feel that the universe is in control of everything, or divine timing is in control of everything, or our higher self, whatever it might be, or fate, right? Or luck. And I keep saying, you are your higher self. You are the universe. You are divine time. You are your guides. You are your spirit team. You are all of that vibrating at different octaves within your own consciousness, right? You're it. This is it. And this is what awakening does. And this is what your twin flame is showing you. You are it. And so when we're staying in those lower vibratory states of fear and need and lack and want and desire and, all of those things, then unconsciously we are creating that. When we're staying in high vibratory states of joy and peace and oneness, then we are in union again with self, and we are creating that, right? We are creating that. And so when you're in union with self, then you're automatically in union with the twin, because there is no separation between you and the twin. And so where this kind of gets like, weird, I guess, as far as the mind is concerned, is that the mind immediately, and the ego immediately goes, okay, well then that means if I'm in union with self and the twin is me, then that means I'm automatically in a romantic partnership with the twin, right? And that's what everyone wants, most people want. And so we have to like back up again and realize that that sentence alone has just shifted us back into that third dimensional paradigm of separation, which is saying that if I don't have that, then this doesn't work, or this isn't what I thought it was, or blah, 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 and all of these sort of things, right? We need to take the romantic component out of the twin flame dynamic in regard to coming back into oneness with self. Because that romantic aspect of it, right, which I keep saying this can be the icing, but it's not the cake. That romantic aspect of it, when we're always chasing it, when we're always desiring it, when we're always wanting it, when we're always feeling like as soon as I come back into union, that means that I'm going to be in romantic partnership with my twin. We've already fallen back into a lower vibratory frequency. When you are in union with self, when you are back in oneness, you are in neutrality. You are at 0 point. You are in a non-dualistic state, which means you're not going to care whether you're in romantic partnership with them or not. And that is the point of oneness, right? There is no duality going on. There is no yes and back, or yes and no, back and forth, right or wrong. There is no mind system pulling you in this direction or in this direction, wanting to create this, recreate the past or thinking about the future and all of these sort of things, right? It's coming into oneness, which is your soul resonance. This is a neutral state of being. This is where peace exists. And so when we're in this state of peace, when we're in union with self, it can go either way. Stuff can go either way. You just don't really care all that much. And it's not that you don't care, it's that you're seeing reality as the dream state that it is. You're seeing reality as the creator that you are. And as the creator that you are, you're not going to be like pining for things or chasing things. You have the awareness now that I am all that is. And so that wherever I'm sitting and whatever I am like focusing on or believing in is just going to naturally be my state of being. And so everything that's around me is going to reflect that natural state of being. But that natural state of being, when you're in union with self, when you're in union and when you're in oneness, is exactly that. It's just being at peace. It's being at oneness with all situations, with all circumstances. It's seeing the whole play going around you all the time and not having reactions to it, right? The ego isn't reacting to things anymore, right? The mind doesn't have control anymore. The emotional body doesn't have control anymore. It's coming back into a restful, peaceful state, which is your normal default system as a light being. So the thing about oneness and the thing about neutrality is it takes all the pressure off, right? It takes this need off. It takes that chasing, it takes that chasing thing away. There's no longer anything that you feel is missing. You don't feel like you need to have anything else because the ego is no longer running the show. So if you come into union with the twin, it's still going to be in that state of just oneness. It's in that state of just peace. That state isn't yanking anyone back and forth or up and down. It's not doing that anymore because we're in the understanding now that in this state of neutrality, I am at peace, right? I don't react to things. I'm not getting yanked around like a Raggedy Ann doll attached to a carousel, right? It's not happening anymore. So when my twin comes in or if my twin comes out, I'm still in a state of oneness, right? I'm still in the awareness that that is me and I am creating that, right? This is one of the biggest things, I'm going to do another video on this, is how we are actually creating the twin. You are actually creating this. This is how powerful you are. This is how powerful we are as creator beings. And so when we're in that state of oneness, yes, the twin does come back into our physical reality. What we do with that is still up to us. We are still master creators, right? It's not in a situation that says that every twin flame wants to be in romantic partnership. Some twins just want peace, right? There are a lot of people that just simply want peace. They just want the game to stop, right? And they want to learn how to actually master the game, which is mastering your mind, your emotion, and your ego, and coming back into union with self. So as a lot of my videos have stated, this whole thing that you're on, this is just another avenue to your awakening, the twin flame path, just another avenue to your awakening that you chose to take. You chose to take, right? But this is so much bigger than just a 3D romantic partnership, right? This is your consciousness coming back online. This is your consciousness awakening to the power that is you, to the true creator being that is you, right? What you do with that, you could do anything with that you want, right? So you're actually kind of playing small when you're kind of saying, well, it has to be this, or it has to be this, or it has to be this. You're an infinite creator being. It can be all sorts of things, right? And once you're back into union with self, once you're back into oneness, you know, all of these things that the 3D mind is wanting to sort of chase and hunt and go after and do, you know, you start to see that for what it is. It's the 3D game. that actually perpetuates suffering and perpetuates separation and actually keeps you out of peace and union and oneness and the freedom key to creating whatever you want. So that's what I have for you guys. I hope that resonates, and I hope you have an awesome day.